bad news concerning LSU football, and that is from Brody Miller from several outlets now confirming the news that LSU cornerback Dwight McGlothern has entered the transfer portal. McGlothern was going to start next season, grew into a clear starting cornerback after Derek Stingley and Eli Ricks went down, was the only starting cornerback expected to return for the Tigers in 2022. LSU now likely replacing all of their starting cornerbacks from this past season.
Yeah, not ideal. LSU's been very active offering defensive backs in the transfer portal, but obviously it feels like there's rumors about everybody today that they're going to leave a school. Dwight McGlothern was no different, but man, it seemed like it had all kind of calmed down here as of late, and he even was tweeting out support for LSU during the bowl game. That's last week. Now in the transfer portal, something changed. I'll say this. Obviously not a done deal until he enrolls in another school. If you're LSU, you've heard Brian Kelly talk about it. You've heard Brad Davis talk about it in the interim role about LSU having to re-recruit the current team, the current roster. Dwight McGlothern probably needs to move very high on that list, if not right up to number one. You need that guy back in the boat if that's a realistic option. I mean, obviously this is very fresh news, but what he did, how he emerged this season, that's a veteran piece that you really need to have at a position group where you have no veteran piece. You have no one. I mean,
literally,
you have no one. That's it. I mean, look what that position group was in the bowl game. That's kind of now what you're going into. Everyone talked about, when you look forward to the team next year, how many scholarship players we have. Oh, well, you got guys who are injured and guys who are suspended or for whatnot, and they'll be back. Now you look at what you had in the bowl game. You don't even really have that coming back at cornerback for next year. That's not a very good place for LSU to be. Whatever McGlothern's reasons are, I'm sure we'll get those confirmed here as the day goes on or the week goes on. But that's less than ideal for LSU right now.
It's not good, man. And like you said, not final. We saw Miles Brennan hit the portal and then decide to come back to LSU. Whatever they were doing to try to sway Kayshon Boutte to stay, because apparently that took a lot. Do everything to try to get Dwight to stay, because not just the position, Musso, but also the player. I was really impressed with what he did after Stingley and Eli Ricks went down, stepping up as a starter, even within games. The Florida game, he was part of that snafu before halftime when Florida hit the Hail Mary. What does he do right out of the second half? Pick six in a big game, and the biggest win, arguably, for LSU this past season. I was really impressed by how he just kind of took that responsibility upon himself, and he played really well, not just through his play, but also as a leader for this team that went through so much. The defense specifically played so good towards the back end of the season, and Dwight McGlothern was a big part of that. Hopefully they're able to convince him to come back, but this is somebody who I was really excited about at LSU in the coming years, and now it looks like that might not happen, and hopefully he doesn't join a rival team, because we've seen a lot of that. Well,
I mean, look, Dwight.
I know.
He's not going far. I mean, a talent like that is not going to get out of the SEC. It's just that he's going to have plenty of SEC schools interested in him if indeed he does choose to stay in the portal. That's just, he's a former four-star who, as you just detailed, burst onto the scene this year and against really good competition in the conference. So you already know he can play. He can be eligible immediately. That's a guy who, if he is serious and stays in the portal, I would not expect to go far. You'd hope it's not the rival team that you're talking about, or either of them that you're talking about. More importantly, what it does for the position group at LSU, you're going to see a lot turn up in the transfer portal now, offers out, and they've already offered a good bit of defensive backs. I think a guy like Jacoby Matthews obviously becomes even more of a priority now in recruiting, and probably if you could snag another prep guy in recruiting, that'd be helpful. I mean, you got LaTerrence Welsh.
I hope he's ready to back up those tweets.
You got LaTerrence Welsh. Jordan Allen maybe projects more as a safety, but can play some cornerback. You got him from LCA, but that's going to be a very young position group. And LSU, man, they pride themselves on DBU. That's going to be tested come this season.
For sure. Besides the guys you mentioned, it looks like right now the only cornerbacks returning to the roster are Ray Darius Jones and Demarius McGee. Like you said, a lot of high hopes for LaTerrence Welsh, somebody who has, like I said, tweeted a lot of confidence, showing that he's ready to play, apparently, and he better be because the numbers are getting really thin, Musso. And I know the guy that's currently wearing number 7 at Alabama is definitely going to try to get his good friend McGlothern to maybe come try to play with him.